Also tonight, friends and family gathered at a candlelight vigil to honor Keon Hogan, the 23-year-old killed in a double homicide in Macon earlier this week. Those close to Hogan released balloons in his memory. Hogan leaves behind a family, including a young daughter and a sister named Nicole Gordy. Gordy says she'll remember him as a loving brother who always made the people around him laugh.
I mean, he was a good person. He loved his nieces and nephews, his brothers and sisters. He was a family person. He was a real good person.
That double homicide that claimed the life of Hogan and 21-year-old Deja Jordan marked the 13th and 14th homicides in Bibb County this year. Zach Merchant sat down with Sheriff David Davis to get his take on the spike in the homicides.
It's becoming a familiar picture in Macon Bibb. Just 4 months into 2018, and the county's already been home to 14 homicides.
Hard. It hurt. I couldn't do nothing but scream. I couldn't believe it.
Nicole Gordy lost her brother Keon Hogan in a double homicide earlier this week on Bloomfield Drive. Deja Jordan was also killed in the shooting. They were Bibb County's most recent victims.
We don't even know why.
Why? He ain't mess with nobody.
I wish we just knew why.
And they're not the only ones asking why. When we talked to Sheriff David Davis, he said part of the problem comes down to culture.
I think it is a culture of violence, a culture of vibrato. You know, if you don't have much, it doesn't take much to knock your self-esteem down.
And when self-esteem is knocked down, he says slights can turn into violence. There's no denying that this year has been violent. There were 16 homicides in all of 2014, and this year the county's already close at 14. Davis says one way they're combating the problem is by working with kids.
These kids that are born in the 90s, as they call them, 90 babies, that is a violent group. And they have little regard for authority, and that's what we're seeing.
Davis says it's a problem that goes beyond law enforcement.
We need to get involved and look at education, look at economics, look at jobs, give some folks some hope.
But he says law enforcement must play its role too. Increased patrols will continue in high-crime areas near Houston and Napier Avenues for the foreseeable future. In Macon, Zach Merchant, 13 WMAZ News.
And as for that most recent double homicide, Sheriff Davis says police are investigating, but so far have made no arrests.